Hello, my name is Rajeev Priyadarshi. I've been an entrepreneur for the past 12 years, and for the past 5 to 7 years I've been a student of spirituality, psychology and achievement. And I read a lot of books and have put a lot of thought on some of the challenges that we are having today. And my goal is to see how we can use the spiritual approach or spirituality to solve life's challenges. Last Sunday I was having lunch with a friend of mine and he was very depressed. He was depressed because his girlfriend, whom he truly loved and he thought that she was his soulmate, broke up with him. She broke up because he did not make enough money. His spiritual path was different from hers. And the fact was he was not a vegetarian and he did not want to be a vegetarian. And when he said that just for her he wants to be a vegetarian, she said that she did not believe him. So he was very heartbroken. When I left him, I was thinking a lot and I was very sad for him. A couple of months back, I had another friend with whom I had a lunch, and he was also very depressed. And the reason for his depression was because in his marriage between the husband and wife, there was no trust. He felt that his wife felt that he did not spend enough money for her happiness, and that means that he did not love her, and so she should not trust him to take care of her interests in the marriage. So he was also very depressed. And then I have another friend who's very, very successful. He's very rich, he's got a very successful business, but he had 2 divorces. And the third relationship in which he is also not doing very well, and they might get separated very soon. So I was having a conversation with him and I asked him, hey, why is it that you're so successful in financial terms, but in terms of your relationships, you're not able to succeed? What exactly is the reason? He said that I don't know. I try to make sure that I'm able to be there for them and I do try to do my job, but I don't know why things don't work out for me. So in these 3 stories, there's a lot of pain. And the question is there a common thread across all of these stories? And is there a common solution? I do believe that there is a solution, but it's not a magic wand. It needs some fundamental changes in the way we think. So what is the solution? The solution is to use spiritual principles to approach life. Now, when I say to use spiritual principles to approach life, what do I mean by that? So what I plan to do, I plan to have a series of such videos where I'm going to talk about different aspects and different stages that we have to tackle. I don't want to give a deluge of information to confuse everyone. So let's see a common thread. So if you look at life, to succeed in life, we need to balance 3 aspects of life. Wealth is required to succeed. To live a life, you need to have a basic level of financial comfort. And then the second is health. No matter how much of wealth you have, but if you do not have good health, you will not be happy and you cannot do anything in life. And the third aspect is relationships. So the prescription is very simple, is if you can balance the achievement of wealth, health and relationships, we would be happy and we would be having what is called a balanced success. Now you can say, Rajiv, that sounds very simple. How do you do that? If it was so easy, I would have already done it. Why is it so difficult to master this simple concept of balancing wealth, health and relationships? So if you have not been successful, do not blame yourself. It is our psychology because of which we are in this situation. It's not that you did something deliberately to create this kind of unbalance in your life. Our psychology is the reason why we have got a lot of these kind of challenges in our life. So when I talk about psychology, what exactly do I mean? I mean that as we grow from childhood to adulthood, there are a lot of changes that happens in our approach to life. Just as there are 4 seasons in the year, there are different seasons in life. And if we follow the wrong strategy in the wrong season, we'll have the wrong results. So when I talk about the different seasons of life, what exactly do I mean? So whenever we talk about different seasons, there are 2 different approaches. The first is what is called the Carl Jung's approach. According to Carl Jung, there are 4 stages of life. The first is athlete. The second is warrior. And third is statesman. And fourth is spirit. In the Hindu philosophy also, we have got 4 stages. First is called brahmacharya. Second is called grihastha. Third is called vanaprastha. And fourth is called sannyasa. So we go through these stages. So the goal of an athlete is to look good so that people like me, so the focus is on physical appearance. The goal of a warrior is to achieve as much success as I want. I want to have as much money, I want to have as much power, I want to have more of these things compared to anybody else. So I spend a lot of time trying to accumulate these things. Third is statesman. At this stage of life, we understand that all the accumulations that we have is not providing us happiness. So we start to serve. We feel that the only way to get happiness is by serving others. So our focus is to serve others. And last but not the least, we understand that we are a spirit. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So once we realize that, then everything has a different meaning. So this is how we go through life. Similarly, in the Hindu philosophy, we go through brahmacharya, where the goal is to get knowledge. And then we are in the grihastha ashram, where we live the life of a householder, where we have got family responsibilities. And the third stage is vanaprastha, where we gradually retire from life, reduce our attachments, and focus more on spirituality and God. And finally, we reach sannyasa, where we have total detachment and our primary focus is to spend time in devotion and understanding God and God realization. Now, these are the 4 stages of life. Now, compared to what I said earlier, what exactly is the relationship between these 4 stages and life's goals? Remember, I said your goal is health, wealth, and relationships. So if you have got the right balance, you can achieve it. Now, what happens is that as a human being, we focus on athlete first, we focus on our physical appearance, and then our success as a warrior. So this is where we spend a lot of our early years. And if you look, that is the time when we get into marriage, that is the time when we get into relationships. So as a result, the goal of success is contradicting the goal of relationship building, because you cannot have a true relationship unless you have got some approach of statesmanship or where you have to serve the other person. So there is an inherent conflict. On the Hindu philosophy, the conflict is not that predominant. It's much, much better, because if the goal is to live a householder's life, which means you have to focus on the duties of a householder, there's very less chances that you will be self-driven, just focused on yourself. So if we actually follow the Hindu approach of ashramas, we would be in a much better situation with respect to our day-to-day living. Unfortunately, we do not, because our life is very governed by our needs. And when we have got needs, our primary duty is to fulfill those needs, our financial needs, success needs, career needs. So we are not able to think from a spiritual perspective on what exactly is the spiritual prescription and how I should live my life. So today I'm going to talk just about this. So I have opened the discussion. So what I talked about was the different challenges that we have in our life, particularly with respect to health and relationships. Primarily, we talked just about relationships today. And we also talked about the 4 stages from according to Carl Jung and according to the Hindu philosophy. In the next talk, we'll be talking about how to understand these different seasons and what we need to do on a day-to-day basis so that we can achieve our goal of a balanced wealth, health, and relationship. Because if we can balance our achievements, relationships, health, and contribution, we can get true happiness. So I truly appreciate you watching this video. If you can please share your comments, I would truly appreciate it. If you can also share some of your questions that you might have that I can cover in the next talk, please let me know. I would be more than honored to answer your questions. My goal is to help you to understand the spiritual concepts so that you can live a more balanced life, because there's a lot of gold in the spiritual text across all religions. And we just think that those are stories, but there's a lot of lessons in those scriptures, whether it's the Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas or the Bible. If we can truly understand those messages and live our life, we can have a true balance and we'll have a life which is truly legendary and deeply fulfilling. Till next time, I wish you goodbye.